everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour with Bougie and Mark. Before we get started, it would be amazing if you guys could like the video and give it a thumbs up because it really helps. And I need subscribers like you would not believe. So also please subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much in advance. Hi.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep. For the first time ever, I remembered to turn the volume on before we started. All right. So today on Happy Hour.
Yeah, like 3 times they did, but the Prestige is 5 times on, what is that? Online stuff, but it's capped at 1,500.
Yes. Like, why do I care? It might as well just be like a freedom card, you know?
True. I didn't think it was capped when I first saw.
It's up to 7,500 points. Which is 50 bucks.
Yeah. And it's per month, or is it overall like the whole thing?
I think it's like complete.
Oh. Poo-poo. That's poo-poo then.
Yeah, it's freaking stupid.
Yeah, people will freak out about the, they're all excited about the grocery, but.
Yeah, but there's a billion cards that you can use right now for grocery that it doesn't.
Yeah, but the nice thing, like these people that are spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars, like that it's uncapped.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. But
wait, so the Prestige is uncapped on grocery forever?
Yeah, that's at least until Citi decides to nerf it. Should we talk about like Sean in Vegas a little bit? Like just the stuff we've seen, like how weird it looks? With people wearing face masks to dance.
To dance? So I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No, I was not looking at.
I put it in Slack, like the go-go dancers. Like she's wearing a full face shield.
Oh, come on! Where did you see that?
One of the people on Twitter, but I shared it in the Slack group. It is hilarious. Oh my gosh! It looks like she's wearing riot gear to dance.
Let me see. And where is this?
I want to say it looks like it's the D, but I don't know. They didn't say especially, but that looks that if I was betting money, I'd say that's the D.
Okay, so
and they're probably the only ones that would have dancers right now.
You think?
Them and like Golden Gate.
Yeah, like the more old school, like what are they?
Yeah, like I don't think the Planet Hollywood's gonna have like I don't even know if Planet Hollywood's open. I don't think it is, right?
It's
no.
So they opened.
No, because that's what Sean booked. Yeah, because that's what Sean booked to get Caesar.
Yeah. So I know that they opened 3 of their hotels because originally they only wanted to do 2, and then they got so busy or so like booked up that they decided to open a 3rd.
What's the 3rd one that they're opening?
I have no idea. So it was Flamingo and Caesars.
Yeah.
And oh god, I don't remember. Well, anyway, they opened another one of the casinos.
Yeah. Caesar.
What I think is crazy is that they were so booked up.
Yeah. Sean said that they said it was going to be like busy this weekend. Harrah's.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, that place is a dump.
Why? Like, if you're gonna open a couple of hotels, like open a few like ones that are even like I wouldn't even walk through Harrah's. Like there would be no point, It's like
I stayed there once. It is like a glorified Holiday Inn. Yeah, I stayed there once.
I would imagine Holiday Inns were nicer.
No, it was like March Madness, and I was able to get a room for me and my buddy, so we each got our own room. So that's why we stayed there.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the atmosphere is fine. It's like party. It's kind of like a party atmosphere in the casino. So the casinos, it's not my favorite, but it's okay. And then they have that like outdoor area with the bar and stuff. So that's fine. But like the restaurants are not good. Besides, like I think Ruth Chris is there. Actually, their oyster place is supposed to be really good too. But like the hotel just was terrible. The pool was like a tiny like what you would get at like a Hyatt place outside, Hyatt Garden Inn place.
Oh, that's pretty bad for Vegas.
Yeah, it's like a regular rectangle pool on like a rooftop, and that's it. It's like by rooftop, I mean like the 3rd floor.
What was the picture? Do you remember when Sean sent a picture of like the family in all of their beach gear with like all of their pool floats and everything walking to? Was that
I want to say it was like the D. Like I think it might have been like whatever the D was before.
Okay.
Or maybe when they just opened, like they had like walk across like a parking lot to get to it or something.
I was thinking that seems like of all the things I've seen in Vegas that people are like willing to deal with, that for me was like that was it. I was like, no. Like to have to walk through the casino, right, is bad enough when you're going to school. And what's really crappy is that my favorite hotel is Cosmo. And sometimes when you book like the really nice rooms, they put you in the North Tower, which is literally like a long walk through the casino, all the way through the casino to get to the other pool.
This is not Bethany exaggerating like she said she likes to do.
Right. Oh no, it's real. It's real. And you know how cold casinos are, right? So like you want to like wear like a sweatshirt to go to the pool.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I remember having a really funny picture and thinking like that's too much. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
I don't know why
the craziest thing I've seen from like, because I mean we've seen Vegas like Twitter and stuff, and Sean's shared some pictures. Like the Craps has the partition in between. There's only 3 people on each side, and there's like a plexiglass partition and stuff. So I think that's pretty good. That's a good idea. You know, then if you like, you're not breathing towards anyone. But the dancer, the go-go dancer with like riot shield face mask. Like I know you want to put everybody back to work, but
yeah, I am starting to get used to like seeing people with face masks on. Like
yeah.
I can't get used to it for myself because I feel funny like wearing it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, the riot ones, like the clear, like see-through, whatever those are. It's
like Dexter wears when he's chopping up a body. Like that's
it's
that's
so
what she's dancing in. And she's wearing like an outfit, like trying to be all sexy, and it's like, no, you have a face mask on. Like, there's nothing you can do
nope.
that's gonna make this look okay. Like,
Although
you can't watch anything but face mask.
Wouldn't it be worse though if she were wearing like a cloth one?
I don't know. I think that's actually cuter.
Really?
Because at least you see like the eyes and stuff, and it almost looks like it's like
Little
trying to be like, yeah, like trying to play like a little game or whatever. But when you have like a full riot gear plastic shield, like, and it's like the lights are like flashing off of it, you just see glare. I mean, you might as well just wear like a bag over your head.
Well, I mean, I'm sure most people wouldn't care if she did, you know.
Might be less distracting, a paper bag. I don't know. But it's like, I expected most of the stuff I saw, but that was one thing I did not expect at all. Like, I would expect like a cloth mask maybe, but like, what if she does sneeze and then it just goes flat?
Oh God, that's so gross.
So it's like, what's the point, really? Or like, put them far enough away that they don't need to wear anything. Only open up one side of the pit and have them dance on the other side or something, you know? Like,
oh yeah, that could be right, 6 feet, and then they wouldn't have to probably wear masks.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. And then like normally people will like toss them chips when they're dancing or stuff and you're gambling. And it's like, now are they gonna be like, oh, I don't know, put it in this cup over here. Like, how do you deal with that? Like a long pole, and they just stick out like a like a Folgers coffee can. Like, here, put it in here.
Like the strippers in Portland were doing at the club. They had like one of those like old lady grabbers.
Oh, if you're watching this and you haven't read about that, like the things that place has done is pretty like crazy. Like they did what, Boober Eats, where they deliver stuff like in their outfits and stuff. So you call and ask for food and they deliver it. And now it's like what is it, like a drive-through where when you're driving through to pick up like beer or your food, they're just like dancing on a stage next to your car.
Yeah. Who go to do that? I mean, I have no judgment, but like you must have a real problem in real life if you need to go to like a drive-through where like the shit is like wearing a mask and taking your money with like a poker. I don't know.
I mean, I can see like people doing it just out of curiosity, but if you're like, hey, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this is where I get my steak sandwich. Like,
wait, but here was what I was thinking, right? So what if the person who's in front of her at that moment is like tipping her really crappy? Like, is she allowed to say like, all right, you need to go? Like $3 is not enough for 2 hours. Get out of here.
Well, that's like I think it's like quick. Like they're only parked there while they're waiting for their food to get put in their car or something. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was like an actual drive-up strip club.
No, because then like, what if like you're just waiting in line and one guy's like super pervy and is just in there forever? It's like you're never gonna get through. So I wonder how much.
Where like you put like a certain, it's probably paid per whatever time.
Yeah, or it's like the food is like triple the price or whatever. I don't know how it works. I didn't read it. I just like saw like the headline and stuff.
Like I saw nipples, so you would have to have like adults only.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you would do that, like, for food pickup.
I don't, maybe they have like a car wash where they have the car wash guy write like something on the windshield, like, all right, he wants the extra sparkle package.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely
Don't worry, little Tommy, we're gonna get your French fries real quick.
right after daddy gets his french fries. Yeah, so
Uh,
very interesting. Have we seen like okay, so I know that all of a sudden everything opened today. All of a sudden people are talking about like all the trips they're going on and who's taking what flight and they're opening like ports that were not open and blah blah blah. Okay, number one, do you believe that everybody is actually going to start traveling or do you think it's like all smoke and mirrors? And number two, have you seen any other travel photos aside from like hardcore business travelers?
um, yeah, I think it's like the early adopter thing, like the arc. I think the people that are like either this whole thing's a hoax, like COVID isn't real or it's way overblown. Those people are likely to travel, or just like the hardcore travel fanatics are going to go. Like my buddy that I talked about a couple weeks ago, that was doing the Alaska trip, and then he had to cancel because nothing was working out. He ended up going today. He
Really?
booked it. Yeah, he booked. He ended up picking a different flight with like Delta instead of messing with United stuff, and they made them get a COVID test before they left. So all four of them went and got tested negative. So they're going up to Alaska, and then they're going to be like fishing and stuff like out in the wilderness or whatever.
Okay, and who made them get the test? Alaska or the airline?
I want to. He said Alaska. I didn't look into it to see like who exactly specified it. You went here. I'll say that again.
Oh, you don't know. Okay, but okay.
He said like the state of Alaska told him to get the test, but I don't know if that's. I don't know if they're still like technically under lockdown where you'd have to quarantine if you don't have a test. I don't. I haven't read into it, but that's what he said. And then he told like the tour company and where he's staying because they booked like a private going fishing like expedition, staying out in the wilderness type of stuff, like at a lodge. And everybody was like super excited that they're still coming and said, "Oh, we're gonna take care of you and thank you for getting the test and stuff." So I think everybody appreciated it, but who knows? They could catch it like on the plane on the way there. So
Yeah. All right. So there's something I don't like about that. If everybody's so excited that you're coming, like what does that tell you? You know, it tells you that like
nobody's there.
nobody else is doing it. And so that makes me think that this whole thing is like a hoax that we're really not like reopening. It's just
Yeah.
like the stories of like 10 people projected out, you know, like, oh, I took a flight and it was great. It was super easy. Like I saw Ian's flight and he was on the show and talked about it, but like it did
Yeah.
not look pleasant, you know? There
No.
was nothing like there was I mean, obviously all I want to do is get in the sky and like get on a
Hmm.
plane. But like there was nothing about those pictures that gave me any kind of like FOMO. My FOMO right now is just that like I know my friends are going places and I want to go.
Yeah. No,
So
I think the other thing that you have to like think about is when you get there, wherever you're going, like what kind of experience are you gonna have? Is it really gonna be worth it? Like even people are like, "Hey, I'm thinking about booking a staycation at like, oh, I live in the DC area. I want to go to Park Hyatt DC, but is the Blue Duck open?" Well, anyways, the really awesome restaurant that they have, and you get globalist breakfast there and stuff. I think it's one Michelin star. Great experience, but like if that's not open, what's the point of going? Like, so you can lay in the bed there and watch TV because you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to the bar. You know, like you're basically just getting away from your kids, but still not doing anything. Like you might as well just drop them off at your parents and stay home. So like that's the whole thing. Like when my parents stayed in Daytona Beach, like the experience just isn't there. Like, is it worth putting the time, effort, money into something that you're not going to really fully enjoy? That's a big reason why we canceled Hawaii. Not so much that we're afraid of getting sick or whatever, just because all that time and energy is going to be put into it, and then we get there and it's like, oh, okay, we can sit on the beach or like have drinks from our mini bar.
so this kind of sounds like well, that part of it kind of sounds like my dream vacation because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I'm like a
You
big
don't leave the resort.
right, yeah. I'm a big minibar slash room service person. Like if I don't have to eat amongst the people, I don't.
But I think like some places don't even have room service because they don't have enough staff on hand. So like
Mhm. Those are
you
the
can't
worst.
even do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even do that. So it's like I don't know. When are you like? When are you thinking of doing your first trip?
It's like such a loaded question because I would have went today if player two wasn't giving me crap about it. So I guess it's, and like, I realize that the experience is going to be diminished or whatever, but like, also we do this for work. So there's
Yeah.
a part of me that would love to get on like an empty plane so that I could take all the videos, all the pictures without people looking at me like I'm an idiot, you know, or like annoying people, which is what I think that we do like when we get on planes and like we're like recording everything.
Yeah.
And then there's also something I kind of enjoy about like being in cities. Like I wouldn't go to a city I've never been to before right now, but I would go to like Vegas somewhere.
Yeah. Just to get like a different experience of it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because
So
this really is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to see Vegas will probably never look like this again. So it's like I kind of see it, like, and there's people sitting at the bar drinking without masks. I think like half the people weren't wearing masks, which I was like kind of surprised about, but
okay, so that's actually promising because I was worried that like I can't, it's not anything against like people or it's not like a theory or anything. It's just that I can't breathe with it on because like I have, so I'm not claustrophobic. Actually, maybe I am. Maybe that's why I refuse to fly economy and I never realized it. But I'm not claustrophobic, but if there's something on my face, I feel like I can't breathe, even though rationally I know that I can.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm probably gonna go and like not wear a mask,
Yeah.
like and just lie about it.
I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna be
100%. Yeah. I can't breathe.
yeah. Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I get that. Like some people it's just, you know, also like people have medical issues and stuff that they can't wear it for that. And then I feel bad for them because they're getting judged like, oh, you're just being a jerk, not
Mhm.
wearing one. And it's like you can't wear like a t-shirt that says I have a medical issue. I can't wear a mask, like you
Maybe.
get judged. Maybe that's $1 million idea. Like, I'm not wearing a mask because I can't.
Actually, that's an interesting idea. Wait, what's that thing that Kirsten has called?
Oh, cricket.
Cricket? Like
Yeah,
CRICUT?
yeah. CRICUT. Yep, cricket.
Okay, so everybody go to the Miles to Memories referral link. Make sure you like post something with the referral link.
I don't know if they have one, but yeah.
Probably something like it, and make sure you buy it with their referral link. Yeah, so actually, maybe that could be a thing, like, where a T-shirt just explaining, like, "Oh, by the way, you have to tell everybody what you're drinking," because I've never seen that before.
Oh, it's Light Sky by
What do
Blue Moon. Like,
you love Blue Moon? So
yeah, that's what I got it because I'm like, okay, Blue Moon. This is gonna be like light Blue Moon. That
yeah,
sounds great because I love Blue Moon, but it's like a little bit thicker and heavier, so like I can't drink it like nonstop. Um, but it's not. So
what
they
is it?
decided
Not
they
like a
decided to try to reinvent the wheel instead of just make a lighter version of orangey deliciousness. So this one's made with tangerine peel. I don't
okay,
know if you can see that.
yeah.
So it's got like a little bit of a different taste. It's almost kind of like more like a seltzer tasting beer than like beer. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I have a case of it, so I'm going to drink it until it's gone and then not buy it again.
Well, also they're probably capitalizing on like the hard seltzer movement.
Yeah, because like look at the can looks like hard seltzer can.
It's not like
So
you're drinking regular beer.
and it's only like 3.6 carbs and 95 calories, which I think is good. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's good.
I
That's good.
feel like yeah, probably like the same as like Miller Lite and all that other stuff. But huh?
How much alcohol?
Uh, 4%.
Oh, that's really low.
Yeah.
Because regular beer
So
is like,
you save calories, but you have to drink twice as much to get drunk. So you end up drinking more.
yep. When I was doing like Atkins way back in the day, they had something called one. It was wine that had one carb. It's kind of like Trop 50, where like basically it's half orange
They
juice.
take all the goodness out. And
Yeah. They take all the alcohol out. And then it's basically they just mix it with water. So like you could just save half the money and do it yourself.
just
I
pour
never
water and wine together.
I've never seen Trop 50. It's literally half orange juice, half water.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's
like
like not a real invention.
those little cans of Coke. They're like, oh, only 100 calories. Well, it's just less. You just pay more for less Coke. Like they just charge you more to drink a little can. Just
Yeah.
get a bottle,
Okay.
drink half of it, and save the other half.
I don't mind that as much because at least they're not like screwing with like the flavor,
Mm.
and trying to like. So yeah, okay, but no, the whole like let's just mix this with water. It's not cool. Stop doing that. Anyway, so yeah, I can see that kind of looks like a hard seltzer.
Yeah.
We digress. Yeah. So have we seen like photos from anywhere else? I feel like all I've seen is empty airport photos.
Yeah. A lot of that.
Yeah. Also not that exciting, doesn't like get me like in the mood.
Yeah, like because I don't like airports. I know you like airports, but I'm not like an airport person. So I try to show up and just walk right to the gate. Like I don't want to get there early. I don't want to go hang out at a restaurant. If I have a layover, sure. Or
Mhm.
if like there's a really great lounge, I might make the exception. But even when I fly out of Vegas, like I don't get there early to go to Centurion or anything.
Yeah, I don't
When I land back in the day, I might stop to get a free beer on my way to the tram or whatever. But um, I don't know. It never did anything for me. Now those people, like, if you did like airports or if you are in layover, like, what do you do for a 2 hour layover, 3 hour layover? There's like nothing open. You're just sitting there, like looking at people waiting, like thinking they're going to murder you. Like it's the end of the world. Like each person is death walking around. Like, don't get near me. Hey, what are you doing? Sitting over there. What are you doing?
Oh my god. That's like you know what's really funny is that I do think that there is this like kind of like sentiment that now when you see a person, you're like, danger, danger. No, this is
Yeah.
not good.
Like there's a lady at I was at the grocery store the other night, and she's like, "Oh, you only have a couple things. You want to go in front of me?" And I'm like, "Well, I gotta walk around you. There's not a lot of space here.
Yeah.
Like we're both wearing masks. We're probably fine, but like that creeps into your mind. You're like, is this worth it? Is this worth the extra 10 minutes? I don't know. Yeah, that's like. Did you see Sean's picture today from Vegas? Like Wayne Newton was out there. He got a picture of him, and this old guy was like, and Wayne Newton's like, and then the old guy goes like this, and Wayne Newton's like, here, I'll give you that.
I'm telling you, it's gonna like we're all gonna be permanently scarred from this experience. Like I was walking today, I was walking my dog. I walked past a woman in scrubs. I jumped to the other side. I was
You're like,
outside.
oh, she could, and she could have like worked at like a vet clinic, and you're like, oh, she definitely has COVID patients. I got to get out of here.
I literally jumped to the other side. I was like, what is happening to you? It's like not, it's like my brain is playing tricks on me.
Yeah, it's all like, and the CDC's come out now and said like you don't need to worry about transmission from touch and stuff. It's all, from somebody coughing or talking or whatever. So like I feel a lot better now going into a store after that, even though like they've gone back and forth on some things. So who knows if it's legit or not? But so I feel better about that. But you still like they say you don't need to wipe down your groceries and stuff. But I still like some stuff I still wipe down because I mean I spent months trying to get the wipes, and now that I have them, you better believe I'm gonna use them. Like, I don't wipe down my house enough to use like 225 wipes. So,
I thought you were making them.
well, I made some until like an order came in, and like I have like 3 huge canisters of them now. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wipe them down because what else am I gonna do? That's what I bought them for, so I'm gonna do it.
Did you get a good price? You could donate them and then like take the donation.
And it was like $10, so I'm not worried.
That's
I
what
just want to use them.
yeah. Okay, so you're well, apparently you have way too much time on your hands according to the April Fool's guy. Anyway, remember when and that was before
Oh yeah, when I was leaving my Amazon boxes, like I don't do that anymore either. But I used to leave them in there for like a couple days because nobody knew. Like they told you, like, hey, your mail could be dangerous. This could be dangerous, and I'm like, okay, like I don't really need anything, so I'll just leave it in there for a couple days. Who cares? But it's
I'm
like,
doing that
yeah,
now too. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it just in case. I mean, like, okay, so I know that they say so the whole time they've been saying you could not get it from food.
yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me.
No
Like
sense
if a
what
guy coughs on my food and then I eat it, how is that?
yeah, yeah. So
It
that's
dies as soon as it hits anything.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like what do you trust? What do you not trust? Like it's so hard to tell. Like I just want somebody to come out and say, okay, do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Everything else, fine, whatever. Like I don't know. I'm sure it was like overblown, but yeah, I can't trust the food thing because
No.
it's not like hey, if it hits cheese, it dies. Like come on.
That makes no sense. Like I thought of like Italian food, right? And I'm thinking like, okay, so if somebody sneezes on my sauce, like magically the COVID just disappears.
Then why aren't we just rubbing everything in spaghetti sauce? Like let's
Yeah.
just clean the planes in sauce.
Yeah. So why don't I just touch food before I touch everything else? And then after, and then I never have to wash my hands. It just makes no sense whatsoever.
Because that's not how any other thing has ever worked.
Right.
Like if you drink this and then I drink this, I get sick.
Right. Oh my god. Yeah, so I think you're good with your wipes. I think it's, I think you might as well keep going. You've done it like you've done it this much, you might as well just go for it. And plus, like
I'm way less.
on like regular travel days, don't you? You bring like wet ones on it.
Yeah, yeah. I wipe down like the tray and all that stuff.
Yeah,
All every time because like baby's poop is on there and stuff. I don't need any of that like on my food.
whatever. This is
It totally is. Or toenail fungus, whatever. There's stuff on those.
this is how not freaked out by germs I am. The other day,
Except for when somebody wearing a scrub type outfit walks by.
it was a reaction. Like it was an involuntary reaction.
I'm just protecting my dog, I swear. I heard one got COVID.
I heard one.
Come on, Spencer, let's go.
It was lucky. I don't walk Spencer, but it was too big. Wait, Steve, so let me tell my story about how not freaked out by germs I am. So that nobody else ever wants
Proceed.
and again. Okay. So sometimes I leave my iPhone in my back pocket. Well, when you pull your pants down to go to the bathroom, it will occasionally fall out. So I fell in. I waited till I was done peeing to wash my hands. That's how not freaked out by germs I am.
So what? The phone fell into the toilet?
Yeah. And I put my hand
I thought you were just gonna say it touched the ground.
I put my hand in, got my phone, and then waited 10 seconds later to wash my hands.
It was like the reverse 5-second rule.
Yeah. I was like, well, whatever. It's water, so.
So was the phone did the phone have a waterproof case or was it toast?
No, it's an iPhone, like the new one. So it actually.
Oh, it just like happened recently.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Here it is.
Oh, well, it was at your own toilet. That's a totally different thing. That's your own toilet. I thought this was a public toilet. If this was a public restroom toilet, you would have definitely washed your hands.
Yeah, and I would have thought like carefully before going in.
That's okay. I gotta. So, my son, who was like 5 or 6 at the time, goes pee. Like he's like, "Can I go to the bathroom by myself? We're at a restaurant or whatever." And he had something from my mom. I don't remember what it was. Some type of I forget. Like if it was like a crayon or I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I don't remember.
We're going with this already.
So he takes it and he comes back and he's like, Daddy, I dropped this in the urinal, but I rinsed it off under the sink." And I'm like, "What? No, you leave that. Like you let it die. Whatever it was, it no longer belongs to you. Like you just let it be there." So like we had this talk and I'm like, "Dude, anything that ever drops in there, you never touch it. Like you just leave it. Like it doesn't matter. If it's a phone, you just huh?
Is this actually a conversation that needs to be had with children? Like I can't even.
Yes. Yes. Because they value things like immensely that are there. So we had this conversation and then like a couple of weeks later, months later, he's at school and he does it again and he brings out like a pencil and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, throw that away." And he starts to like lose his mind that he has to throw away one of those. He's like, "I don't have that many pencils." So I'm like, "Dude, these are like $2. I will buy you 40 pencils. Stop."
Oh, he was worried about his pencils. That's so.
Yeah, because he's like, "If I throw this one away, I'd only have 9 left." I'm like,
Oh my God. Well, at least you're teaching him the value of $1.
oh, he's valuing it way too high. He's like the Great Depression. This might be the only pencil I ever get in my life value. When like
Oh my God.
pencils are like, I could pick up the coins off the couch cushions and buy some pencils. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like tell him to. Okay, do you ever do that with your kids? Like tell them to do chores and stuff and give them $1?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the only reason I want to have children. I would be like, go scrub the floors, do this, and I'm like 50 cents, and they would have no idea.
Oh yeah, like pulling weeds and stuff. Like, "Hey, go help me." And they really want, like, kids always want to help. And
Mhm.
most of the time, like, it ends up costing you more time, or it's more frustrating when they try to help because they do it wrong. But like for stuff like that, I'll be like, "Hey, go clean up, like pick up all these leaves, this pile of leaves, and I'll give you $1." And they'll fill up like a whole garbage can full of leaves. Um, the thing I do though, like the trick I do, is whenever they do something bad, or if they, because my son's like a big saver, like he like knows how much money he has in his bank, and like has only bought like 2 things with his money ever. Like will not spend it. So if he breaks something, or just doesn't show enough care for something, or does something like wrong, I'll be like, oh, that's a fine. Like, you have to pay for that. That cost me $5. So I make him go get the $5, and then he earns it back. Then he earns it back by doing chores.
That's so much. Like, can we get older? And he's like, wait a minute. Hold on.
But it shows him the value. That's why he values his pencil way too much, because he's like, Dad's gonna make me buy this anyway, so I'm fishing that out of my own pee.
It's like buy stuff back from himself. You're like a pay lender.
He gets way better pay rates on when it's his own money though. Like, but the best is when like my daughter will be like, I didn't get any money for cleaning up my room. Why did he get $5? I'll be like, it was his own money. You go give me your $5. I'll give it right back to you. That's okay.
Like, because I already took it from him. Now I'm earning it back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a consideration. I don't think it's like a valid one, but because somebody would have to, what do you call it? Like raise it until it was old enough to do chores, and then they would have to take it back.
Rear it? You want somebody to rear your children first?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've seen a few other pictures. We know what's out there, but you asked me when my next trip would be. When is your next trip?
Well, I booked the first trip we're doing is like in July, and I booked just like an Airbnb, which is totally against like my whole nature and code. Like I never Airbnb. So we rented a like on one of the Lake Huron in Michigan. So it's like right on the water, so we can still bring our own food and make stuff, and then like go to the beach and hang out and stuff. And then you're not missing out on any of the experience because you can still take care of everything yourself. Versus if you go to a hotel, like a lot of times we go to a hotel up north, but if like the bars shut down and stuff, it's like, okay, what do we do? Well, now we're stuck in this little hotel room and we go to the beach or whatever. So we figured this would be a better fit for this year. So it's not something we normally do, but something we're trying. And then today, because Frontier's complete garbage, I booked a flight in October to go back to Vegas because we were supposed to go for March Madness and then we canceled it, and their voucher was only good for 9 days and you can only book up till November 9th. So
you didn't extend it?
No. So like I tried to book into March, and I just tried it, put in the code and everything, and it would never ticket. So you had to book before March. Yeah, it's like double whammy. Like everybody gives you a year. Even like the other low class carriers give you like a year. And this so I booked it for October because it was like, okay, this weekend works and the price is about the same. So I booked it for like the first weekend of October, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I was gonna lose the money anyway. So I'm hoping it's better. I'm hoping there's not like people wearing riot gear while they dance.
Yeah, but you know what? At that point, it will be like normal place, like commonplace, whatever the word is. So it won't be a big deal to anybody, you know? So yeah.
It'll be like the new normal. I'm hoping it's like a little more till like, because there's the reports coming out of Italy, the Italy doctor saying like the potency is going down. But yeah, I think like if like let's say like 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, you know, it's still flat and curve or flat and it's not going up.
Yep.
I think that's going to really be, people will start to travel more at that point. So I could see like July, mid-July, maybe even like 4th of July. That could be like a big kickoff to when people start to travel again. Because I know a lot of people have canceled up until this point, but a lot of people have kept their July bookings intact in the hopes that that's when it starts to break. So I think that could really be like the signal of everything. And I think like the state of Michigan is supposed to be like pretty much fully open for July 4th. That's what we're shooting for, where you can get like your haircut again and stuff like that, you know, because those are necessities.
Yeah. Well, people have mullets, so I think it's a necessity for sure.
I know my wife's jacked up my hair enough. I'm ready to get it cut by a professional.
No, with I love it. You should keep that like full time.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Kirsten likes it. That's the reason I've kept it most of the time. But yeah, so I think July is going to be a big, you know, the tipping point where it's either going to start to pick up and trend all the way to full-time travel, or where everybody freaks out and then we lock down again for like another 6 months. So let's hope it's good.
Every prayer I've ever said is not as important as this one. No, really though. It's like I'm nervous, but I'm also kind of excited. And so you have that trip to where? Lake Huron? Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's like an hour and a half from here, so it's just a quick drive or whatever. But that's
what month is that?
That is July, end of July. Like when we were supposed to go to Hawaii, that's the week we booked.
Okay. So 2 things. One, is anybody going with you, like family or friends?
Yeah, I think my parents might be going, and then my sister also rented a house like in the same area, so we'll all probably get together during it. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not so much worried about like social distancing at that point. You're more worried about just like okay. And then the other thing is, when is your first real trip going to be? Is it
Like
October?
real flight? Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be that's the only because I didn't have anything booked past July when all this kicked off,
Mhm.
and I just haven't booked anything. So the only other thing I booked is the Cape Town trip in February, which was that mistake fare that you booked as well. So that's it. Like, and I'm waiting to see how things play out, and then maybe I'll throw some fall stuff in there,
Yeah.
or end of summer stuff, depending on how it plays out. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't think that like things opening necessarily means people traveling.
No, no.
That's sort of like I feel like our industry is going to take a lot longer to recover because
Hmm.
people are not huge travelers in the first place, right? It's
Yeah.
just it seems like they are because that's what we do. But then there's also like a lot of businesses are staying closed, so your like business travel is depressed. And then I also think that like somebody going outside to the beach versus getting on a plane is a totally different world, you know?
Yeah.
And I just hope that I get to experience some of that because, like, how many people or like how many generations can say they lived through a pandemic? So I was looking at flights to Athens yesterday.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because there's been a couple of deals, right?
I wasn't even going by deals. I was making my own
Okay.
ultimate
Okay.
reward points, which we'll talk about in a minute. Um, and then I heard today that like Athens was one of the few cities that were like really cracking down on things. So I was like, okay, that is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Then I have a whole bunch of stuff booked in the Maldives in December because you can't be a real travel blogger without having gone to the Maldives, and I have not been
Where's
there.
my eye roll?
I
Where's
know,
my eye roll?
I know, because that's what like it's the stupidest thing ever. But like I need my street credit. I gotta go to the Maldives. I'm gonna go once, and then I'm gonna tell everyone else how stupid it is. But however,
Exactly.
yeah, so I did book a whole bunch of stuff, and then I'm seeing things like the Maldives might be like making people stay there, or it's like
Yeah,
oh,
you might have to stay for like 14 days or whatever.
switch that to Bora Bora, the other place that everybody has to go. Yeah,
Yeah, you fly over it on the way to the Maldives.
yeah, yeah. But there's
It's
like
like the same thing, but half the flight.
yeah, there's like British Airways first class flights for like I don't know, like $4,000. That's like $2,500 if you cash out Ultimate Rewards. So I'm making my own deals here. Anyway, so
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, international travel is definitely going to take longer to kick off because you don't know who's going to let you come to the country. Or, like I'm assuming that a lot of people are going to say no to Americans, the U.S. people. Um, so I think 2020 is the year of domestic travel.
I think I might be with you. I might just get like a log cabin and I hire.
Even though you said no like 3 weeks ago.
No, I said no to camping.
No, I said a cabin in the Smokies, and you're like, who wants to do that? No.
Oh, I don't want to do that. But if I have to, I will do whatever it takes to get out of this freaking house.
Well, then you go to like northern New York State, like rent a house up there on the beach or something like that
I don't think they
with
have
all the
upstate.
huh? Like the Hamptons and stuff like that.
That's not upstate.
It's not?
No, that's right by me.
Oh, all
It's on
right. Well, what's the other big one out that way?
Montauk.
Yeah, yeah,
They're close.
yeah.
Oh, I
So do
thought
something like that just to
like
get out.
beach in like Buffalo, and I'm like,
No, no, no. Or you could go to like Niagara Falls or something.
yeah, you're right. Okay, so yeah, you're 100% right. None of these things add appealing to me, but yes, of course, the Hamptons sounds wonderful. I'll do that all day.
Yeah,
But we were looking at like houses. We were looking at houses originally, and now they're just like really spiking.
I think like that's why we booked ours quick because I'm thinking like that's the trend that's going to happen. Like if you have a Airbnb rental like on the water somewhere, I think like you're going to get 50% more
Mhm.
than what you would have gotten in a normal year because that's what everybody's thinking of doing. Just because you still get like a vacation experience, but you're not mingling with other people. So
Okay, so is it a vacation experience if like you're not hanging out with or like okay, so for me, vacation has a lot to do with like I like to get ready. I like to do my hair, makeup, wear heels, right? If I'm going to like a log cabin with my family, I can maybe wear heels for like an hour. There's no point, you know? Does it count? I don't know.
I think it all depends on the person, you know, like if you know, it all depends on the situation and where you're at. Like a family that's going on vacation is pretty similar to what they would normally do at like a resort. But yeah, like going to Vegas to like get all glammed up and go out to a nice dinner and go out to drinks and dance and all that stuff, like that's like kind of off the table for everybody. So that's the experience that you're missing. Like even if you can fly somewhere,
Hmm.
it's not going to be what it was. So is it worth it? Like,
Right.
do you want
Yeah.
to fly so bad that you just fly to somewhere just to do
What?
what you can do?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
so that's why I think like
yeah.
over the summer, if there's no spikes and stuff will start to open up. They'll be relaxed in the restrictions and stuff, and then from there then on out, if it gets better, then travel will pick up. But if it stays the way it is, where you have to wear a mask everywhere or separate inside the restaurant, it's like gambling. Gambling, I enjoy the thing I like most about gambling is the interaction with other people at the table and having fun and like high fiving and yelling and all that stuff. And you can't do that with plexiglass. Like, what are you gonna do? Fist bump it?
Yeah. So I am the opposite. I gamble despite the interaction that I have to have with people. So for me, it sounds like best case scenario. I'm like, oh, you can't touch me under the table. I can't smell your breath. Also, great. So yeah, that's I get there now because I'm like, this is like time. This is the time I've waited for my
This was
entire
made for me.
yeah.
Now, is player two more interactive gambler, or is he like just
Uh,
there for like
he doesn't love the plexiglass part, but he is also antisocial, and he
yeah?
likes my reasoning. He was like, no, I haven't thought about it like that, and I was like, yeah, because he's even
And
like,
then he was like,
you know.
but you have to be like, but you've never gambled with Mark, so it's a whole different experience.
I mean, obviously, if you go with your friends, well, that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
If I go with my friends, it's gonna suck. But if I'm
yeah,
shielded from strangers, that's great. And
yeah,
I,
yeah.
you know, so
So if you're a degenerate, it's good. You
exactly
want to go have a good time with friends, not good.
right, exactly. So if you just want to like gamble, which I think most of us gamblers would be happy to do it,
Yeah.
I think that's. Let's very quickly go through credit card. Just tell me what you experienced this week when you were trying to execute your Chase Ultimate Rewards plan. So for me, everything's going according to plan, but now I have to make the calls on players to either, I think we're going to do his Sapphire, we're going to upgrade to a reserve, and the annual fee was just due like 2 days ago. So we should be able to. And I think that leads into what your experience was.
Yeah. So Kirsten, my wife, has the Sapphire Preferred, but she just signed up in January for it. So I kind of knew that she wouldn't be able to upgrade it because there's a law that
Card
you have
act
to have it for a year.
last week, and
Yeah,
I
card act.
upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you can't upgrade a card in the first year because the annual fee goes up and they think that's a predatory act. So even if you want it, you can't do it. So I decided to give it a try anyway just to see what they say. And they of course said, no, you can't do that. It hasn't been long enough. You have to wait till January of next year. So I wrote this and somebody commented, I think his name was Casey, reader Casey, commented that, hey, you can upgrade a Freedom to it even if you already have one card. And it's always been thought you can only carry the Preferred or the Reserve. You can't carry both because that's like their verbiage or their terminology in their terms. But I guess that's only if you're signing up for it. If you upgrade to it, you can carry both. So she does have a Freedom. So we could upgrade her Freedom to the Reserve, but then like the whole numbers change different because
Because your
we're
bank
not talking about
freedom like spend points.
well, the
Like
freedom spend, the freedom spend is one thing to consider. The other thing is, when you're talking about the jump from the Sapphire Preferred, which you're already paying a $95 annual fee, to the Reserve, the difference isn't as big when you take in all the credits to account. But when you're going from a Freedom that has no fee now you're talking about like with what I value Grubhub at and all that, it's like $160 difference. Well, am I going to cash out enough points to make up for that extra $160 I'm going to pay to upgrade it? So it's like it changes the whole proposition on the valuation of if it's worth it or not. So I'm still debating that. The other thing I'm considering is if I do upgrade her to the reserve, she'll get that $1,500 in grocery spend at 5 times. So that's like $100 in value
Yeah.
that she gets from it. So that closes the gap more. So I don't know. I'm still debating. I have until the end of the month, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So I could still hit the grocery because if I wait until next month to do it, then there's no grocery bonus that makes the numbers look worse. So
yeah, totally. So that was
yeah.
like one thing I was happy. This is so stupid, but my player 2 has had a Chase Slate credit card for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that I haven't done anything with it is so obnoxious. It's like,
Change it to a Freedom like forever ago.
come on, like, I don't know. So obviously that got me thinking about that, but also it was really cool that I was able to change my Sapphire Preferred to a Freedom and then get a new Sapphire Preferred. So now I'm getting the full bonus all over again. So I'm thrilled with the way that worked out, but also so disappointed in myself that like we've had this like spot open even when he wasn't under 524.
Yeah.
That is just sitting there for like a vacant card that they really could close any day because it's not like he's ever put like anything on it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm mad at myself, but it's a good lesson. And so yeah, so I just have to start executing his stuff, but mine is all like flowing properly. And then today or yesterday, well, today technically they started the Citi Premier and Citi Prestige changes like early, right?
Yeah.
But
I
they
think
did,
it actually like they say it went into effect on the 2nd, but I don't think they told anybody until
right.
today.
Yeah. Well, okay, that and did any of the negative changes take effect today?
No, because that was supposed to be delayed anyway. Like the where you can't cash out the portal at 1.25 cents. That was going to take a while anyway. So you still
Oh,
have some time left on that.
the date that they said in this letter somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so I guess
I
it's
don't know where it would.
some people. I mean, again, I'm not big on thank you points, and because of
Yeah, I
that,
think that. Well, I think the biggest thing is with the Premier is the 3-time grocery is uncapped. So like anybody that does a lot of MS at grocery stores, either buying like third-party gift cards or buying Visa gift cards and stuff, they max out their Amex Gold pretty quickly and or their Amex Everyday Preferred and stuff like that. So this is another option they didn't have before, and that it's the fact that it's uncapped, even though 3 times thank you points is okay, but it gives them some options versus like they might have had to gone to cash back or something like that. Now with the Prestige, where you're getting 5 times on what is it on internet purchases, basically like web purchases.
yeah,
But it's capped at $1,500 total
yay,
through August. So it's basically like they turn their Prestige into a Freedom card for like 3 months, which
yeah.
is hey, it's free points. That's cool, but for a card that's $400-500, what is it now? Is it 550 now
I thought it was 495, but that was the last
or
time I
495? Whatever. Up in
sure.
the upper echelons of cards, it's not really that great of a big of a thing. Like if they did it $1,500 a month for 3-4 months, at least that's a little bit of meat on the bones. But
Yeah,
for
that's
one-time thing, yeah. Like I get a 5-time offer on my Citi Preferred, which is a no fee card for the same categories like every 3 months. So
I have that
it's
right.
not like you're really
Yeah, but that one's only up to 500 in spend. You can only get 25
yeah.
points for that one. Like, come on. Yeah, there we go. As usual, he sucks. Like at bottom of the barrel. I don't even think that they're like trying anymore. I think they just like they were like, oh, you know what? Let's just give people an extra like $50. It's like, what is the
Yeah.
point? You know?
Plus, if you're big into Citi, you probably already have like the Citi Thankyou card or the
AT&T.
AT&T, yeah, Access More, which is already earning 3 times on web purchases.
Yep.
And then you're also always getting spending bonuses on that all the time, where you're getting 4 or 5 times. So, I mean, okay,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Made no difference to me. Obviously, people love changes. So the
Yeah.
world like blew up today as usual. It's funny because I think like 3 weeks ago we talked about the Amex changes, which were kind of a big deal. Then we talked
Yeah.
about Chase changes last week, and then this
So
week
big. Yeah.
City. Like,
Well, and like US Bank threw their hat in the ring. They're like, hey, we'll give our Altitude Reserve people some things. Okay.
yeah, I mean, I'm one of those idiots who signed up for what's the other one? The other Visa signature card? No, the one that everybody signed up for because each authorized user got 250 in travel credit.
Oh, the Crystal Infinite.
Yes. Okay. So I'm one of those people who like signed up for that instead of the US Bank one, and now I hate myself. Can't wait to cancel.
Well, I mean, that one time you got like the $1,000 in AU credits. That was nice, but
I did for two. I did so I got 750, which is more than I was expecting I would do.
yeah, somebody that holds a slate card for 10 years definitely won't max it out.
Yeah. Like I didn't even have a fourth person to add without like identity theft.
Be like last week, I went on Facebook and found this college student, signed him up for Groupon and my authorized user card.
No, they wanted like paperwork. That's why I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't have 3 people close enough.
Yeah, that is the trouble with like those. Like Amex always sends them where you can max them out like up to 4 people, and I'm like, I'd like to do 4 people, but I'm not gonna really go like, hey, can I get yours? Can I get yours? Like that's the other thing that's great about kids is when they turn 13, I can add them.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So there you go. You just need to pop out a 13-year-old so you can just take care of those authorized user bonuses.
Just add any 13-year-old with like a birth date, first and last name. But now when you add people, like they send you an email like every day saying critical information is missing on this whatever, and if it's the social, they'll eventually close the account. So
yeah. And you won't get the bonus anyway. So
yeah, so I don't know. Like
I know some people have said if you hit the spend real quick, like you sign up not using the social, hit the spend real quick, it'll post and you'll get it. But I know they've clawed it back too. And that's also gaming. Like, do you want to get your account potentially shut down over 5,000 points? Like,
no, definitely not. It's kind of ridiculous, but
yeah, I know people get paid for that. Like, they'll pay you. There's I don't know the site, but you can sign up and they'll give you like $1,000 to add somebody as an authorized user, so that that will help their like rebuild their credit and stuff. Which I know people do it. Seems too shady for me, but if you need extra money and you have great credit, I guess that's something you could look into.
that's also an excellent way to get shut down.
Yes, if you do it a lot, if you're cycling through, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would sell my ability to use those cards. I mean, Citi, I would love to freaking sell. It's like a necessary evil that I hate having to deal with. So if I got shut down by Citi, that would be one of those like ultimate things. Like, you know how like every once in a while you accidentally stumble into something that saves you a lot of time and strife. That would be.
You're like, why was I stressing about this?
Yeah. So I would.
Thanks, Citi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we already know I hate Citi, and of course now I'm eligible for all of the bonuses all over again, like everything for Citi for both of us. So now like I have to deal with that whole process, and I just don't want to. But I'm gonna do it before I get shut down. And you know what though? I have to say the one good thing about Thankyou points is that like it's like the one thing that I never feel stressed out about using. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's why
I got Thankyou points. Take all my money.
That's right. That's like as soon as I get them, I spend them because I'm like, hey, if I'm going to spend anything, I'm going to spend these. So gone. Like they last like a month because, and people would say like, well, doesn't that mean they're valuable? No, it's because I try to use them as soon as I can.
Yeah,
I know some people love them. I just it's not for me.
Some people love them. Yeah. Our friend Ian proposed a deal last week. I've never been so happy in my life to have been like the first person to check Slack. He wanted to trade Hyatt points for Thankyou points. And I was like, done, and done. I'll even give you a bonus. And then, of course, I rushed to my Thankyou account to see how many I had because I was like, wait, do I even have enough? And I did. I had like 60,000. So, yay. That's what
that's a good trade. That's a great trade. Hyatt. But isn't that funny? Like, it all depends on like what you have, like what you're willing to trade in, you know, like if there was a flight that's way cheaper using, you know, let's say, you know, Virgin Atlantic miles, and I don't have them and I'd have to transfer them, but I have a ton of sitting on a mound of Hyatt points from cancellations. I'm like, hey, does anybody have Virgin they want to book? And I'll send you Hyatt points for it. Like, you might do that because you're taking from what you have a lot of to use what you don't. So
yeah,
it's always interesting.
Well, it's all about what you prioritize in the first place.
Yeah.
Like we clearly don't prioritize Thankyou points, so we don't have a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
But
I think I have 0. I have like 300.
I couldn't believe when you said that. Like, I thought you meant
Because I legit, I sign up for the Premier like every 2 years.
Yeah.
I get the 60,000, I spend them, and then I don't put any spend on thank you cards.
Yeah.
Like I mean, double cash I put on sometimes, but I never have enough to transfer over to thank you points. So it's just like I use it as cash because whatever. But and I don't even put that much on the double cash because Blue Business Plus and stuff like that. Like, or I'm going for bonus, so I don't have a lot of non-bonus spend that I would put on there. But I don't know.
Okay, so quick question, and then we'll end. If you right now, with all of the bonuses and everything, had to pay a whole bunch of taxes with a card, which card would you put it on? I know a lot of people do the double cash.
Yeah, double cash. I mean, double cash is probably like the best because you have the chance of earning 2 points per dollar. Because Amex you can't usually pay taxes with, so that's out.
The fee is higher with them.
Yeah, or the fee is higher. So double cash is a good one because you can either use thank you points or use straight cash back. If you have like Bank of America and you have the platinum banking and you're getting 2.625 or whatever, that's a good one. Like a Chase Freedom Unlimited where you're getting 1.5 times. If you have a reserve, that's now 2.25 times if you're cashing it out. So that's a good one. Anything that you're working a bonus on is really the best option though. Like that's what I would do if you have a big tax bill. Every time you have to pay your tax bill, sign up for a new card. That works for it because, and that at that point you're usually getting like 20% back or more on your spend up till you hit that cap. So
yeah, that's amazing. I mean that's great for somebody who can sign up for bonuses, but there are like some people out there who just can't.
Yeah,
the wells are all dry. So
you gotta kick the random tires like PNC or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I got an offer today. It was like Wells Fargo Cash something, like you're pre-approved for 1.5, and then I'm like, I have to start looking at like stupid Wells Fargo rewards. Like I don't want to do this, but I'll do it for.
I just signed up for their checking account for the $400 bonus, and then hopefully like after that and it gets seasoned a little bit, I'll go for the Propel card, which has the $400 bonus. So try that out.
Yeah.
Because I did that like 2013 I think is the last time I had a Wells Fargo card. So they're usually stingy, but if you have a bank account, they're easier. So I'll take that $400 from that shady bank.
So that's interesting. So maybe you would just take this offer just to establish yourself with them.
Yeah, like because the way I look at it, you sign up for the bank account pays you $400 for signing up, and then it opens up a credit card. It's $400 so by doing this, you're basically getting $800.
Yeah.
For doing like if you tag team them basically. So I think it's worth it for sure.
All right, so I'll sign up for this stupid card once I'm my Chase arbitrage. Like I was like,
no, you gotta do the checking account first. $400 checking account. I think it's after $4,000 in direct deposit, you get $400.
Well, that's not bad. But I'm already
and a lot of
pre-select.
Well,
oh, it's not necessarily the thing.
Yeah. They'll be like, no, you're denied for not having pre.
It's a 20% bonus on digital wallet transactions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Up to what?
Oh, I don't know.
Cap?
I did not see a cap, but it was
gotta be a cap. I'd have to imagine there's some type of cap.
I'll let you know.
They learned from their because they used to have that. That might be the card that you used to get 5% at grocery stores for the first 6 months.
And now
people hit it for like millions of dollars and like cashed out, like made like hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this one card. And then they finally figured it out after like years. Well, they figured it out after years and years. They're like, hey, by the way, we're going to put a cap on this now. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Like, do they not know the people who sign up for credit cards? Like, in this
well, and people were hitting them up for it for years. Like, huge numbers. Like, what? I don't know. But,
amazing.
Okay.
Listen, if there's a hole to exploit, the Miles and Points family will find it.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I guess we should be privileged to be part of that.
Who's that? Is that Spencer or is that Lucky in the background?
Of course. Spencer. Are you kidding? Right. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
See you next time. Thanks.
Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, we have a special guest next week.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
My buddy Ryan.
Yes.
Crazy stories.
Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable.